And, well, all of this week, some hot tips for marriage and relationships. We've got the love doctor of New Zealand, Ian Grant, with us on the program. Ian, we certainly appreciate your years of wisdom and experience and answering some of our listeners' questions.
I think it's a great idea, because sometimes before Valentine's Day it's all sloppy stuff. This is pretty real, these questions.
Well, this next question we're looking at now is got something to do with Valentine's Day. In fact, it's from a man who says, "My wife tells me I'm not romantic enough. I'm not even sure what that means. I've tried buying chocolates and flowers, but then I just get told that I'm wasting money. I'm really concerned with Valentine's Day coming up that she's going to be disappointed again. Help."
When your wife says you're wasting money buying flowers or chocolates on Valentine's Day, still buy them, because she'll be on your case for the rest of the year. I mean, that's a fact, all right? We'll deal with that one. But look, romantic love, I think it'd be great if you could find out what your wife's language of love is. There are 5 languages of love. There's things like gift giving, acts of service. Why I stumbled on that? Because when we were newly married, I used to buy Mary little gifts. And one day I did the ironing for her and discovered that her language of love was acts of service, which is now a very powerful foreplay in lovemaking, doing the ironing.
So it's possible that this person that's buying the chocolates and the flowers, that he thinks that's showing romantic love, but for her it may be some other way.
Yeah, still buy the gifts for her,
Yeah.
but her language of love may not be that. It may be physical touch and closeness, or it may be listening to her, and if you don't know what the language of love is she has, ask her. Just interesting, what is your language of love?
You're not going to get in trouble for saying,
No,
if you loved me, you'd really know.
The fact that you are interested enough to ask her gives her the reason to help you. And she's the relationship expert generally, so she'll give you advice on that. And then just work on that language of love. I mean, that's why I've forgotten his name, but that psychologist wrote the book, Sex Begins in the Kitchen. Everybody got it wrong, but what he's saying, it's the cup of tea in the morning. That is, it's a 24-hour foreplay thing. And it's same with your wife, just acts of kindness. I love the story. I don't know if it's a village myth or not, but I love the story of the guy who was saying to his mate, who's a lawyer, "I'm going to divorce my wife. I want you to take the case. Can you give me an advice?" And the guy said, "Look, if I'm going to take your case in divorce, I want you in the next 3 months to do 2 acts of kindness to her every day, so I can stand up in court and say he's a great, great husband." 3 weeks later they met, and the lawyer said, "Now, how you want to proceed with the divorce?" He said, "Why would I divorce her? She's a wonderful woman." I love that story because it sums up everything. So men have an ability to change things, and it's a God-given ability. And if a man can step up and say, "Hey, I'm going to prove I'm romantic," and even if you've got to get her to help you and show you what's romantic to her, she'll love it, but do it.
There's a lot of pressure with Valentine's Day, of course, with saying, okay, this is the time of the year, you have to be romantic. Blow this and you're in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Is it a cop-out to say, oh, yeah, that's just a commercial thing, or should we look to be romantic more often so there's not so much pressure on, anniversaries and Valentine's Day?
I think there's both answers, both sides to it. I think you take advantage of it without being silly. But you do it, other acts of kindness as well, There's an interesting study came out of America. The more you spend on the wedding, the shorter the marriage lasts, which is very interesting, isn't it?
It wasn't Scottish research, was it?
No, no, the Scots were right, you see.
Yeah.
No, but interesting, isn't it? And so, but I think, Valentine's Day come, hey, buy the flowers. And the funny thing is, with women with flowers, even if you pick wild flowers for her that cost you nothing, it's the fact that you thought of doing it and taking the effort.
All right, great advice in the lead up to Valentine's Day. Ian Grant from Fathers Who Dare Win, and you can, of course, find out more at Ian's website, which is fatherswhodarewin.com. Ian, thank you so much for joining us and answering these questions.
Oh, it's been a pleasure and a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.